If you have no idea what to do when it comes to stretching your hips, stick around. I'm going to show you one exercise that's going to open up the hips from every single angle. And that's it, just one exercise with a few variations of the pose, and that'll sort your hips right out. Super easy to do. All we need is some floor space, maybe something to pad your knee, maybe something to help support your hands. The only other thing you need is a positive attitude. Feel free to pad your back knee with a mat or a pillow, and we're going to start off in this low lunge position. This by far is one of my favorite positions to start off with, because if you can take the pressure on your back knee, you can access so many different muscles and areas of the hips just from here. So the first thing that we can do when we start in this position is we can change the position of our hips. So our pelvis can go posteriorly and anteriorly. So posteriorly, we're kind of tucking our tail under as if we're like a scared dog. And anteriorly, it's almost like we're sticking our tail out and up and away, and we're kind of showing the world that little spot down there. All right, so from here, we, as much as possible, want to be able to take our hips into this posterior tilt here. And as we come forward with this posterior tilt, we should feel the front of this back leg lighting up. We should feel the hip flexors straight away. These muscles that are short and tight, because we're sitting quite a lot, we should feel them straight away catching on fire. Cool, so we breathe. And then we come on back out. So that's the first section that we've hit. The front of the back leg. Next section that we're going to kind of focus on is this front leg. So as we bring the hips forward, you should be able to feel a little bit of a stretch in the glutes. Always going to be different for different people. Okay, cool. So from here, I've got these trusty little kettlebells here because I'm not the most mobile person in the world. And if you're watching this video, I'm going to trust that you aren't either. So we're using these kettlebells so that we don't have to go all the way down onto the floor. If you have to go all the way down onto the floor to feel the stretch, good on you. But I'm going to stick up here, holding onto these kettlebells so I don't go so far down. So from here, if we take our hips back towards our back foot, we are generating a stretch on our left hamstring. And you can notice that I haven't completely straightened out my leg like this, because as soon as I do that, my body, it actually starts to freak out. And it tightens up all the way through the hamstring, all the way through the low back. And we are trying to have our body not freak out. So we're going to keep a nice, generous bend in the knee, while the hamstring then can think about maybe starting to ease up a little bit. As the tissue slowly starts to relax, we can then think about pushing that angle or opening that angle up a little bit and getting closer to straight. All right, we'll relax that for a little bit. Bring it on forward. And then bring it on back. And we can take a few little flosses back and forth here in this position to get a bit more space going on in that front hamstring. Amazing. So, we have a bit of hamstring, we have a bit of glute, we have a bit of hip flexor. If we take our back foot and swivel it towards our left hand side, this then changes things a little bit more. See if you can bring your body up nice and tall, and then if we shift our weight over the front knee, The stretch has now changed to the inner thighs. Whew. So I can feel it all the way in my adductors here, and it's pretty intense. Ease up a little, bring it on back in. This stretch itself is better used as a research tool. We're essentially figuring out where we're feeling tight on any particular day. So today for me, for sure, inner thigh, big time. Whew. All right. Straighten that leg back out. Perfect. And now I'm actually going to shift my orientation for you guys, but you stay on that exact same leg. And now, instead of bringing the leg close to the left, we're going to think about straightening it out a bit and almost turning onto our back leg, round towards the hip. So now immediately all the way the outside of the glutes. I'm still getting a little bit on the inner thigh. I'm feeling a stretch down the side of my glute on the other side. And that's about as far as I can go. If you have the range, you can feel free to come down all the way onto your forearm and completely swivel out onto your right hip. Then you can open up the hips here as well. Amazing. So as you could probably hear, I'm using breath quite a lot. And the breath is one of the most powerful tools we have, especially when we're stretching. The breath helps tell our body to relax. So essentially, we're just going to take it onto the other side now. Essentially, whenever we're stretching, we're having this conversation with our nervous system. It wants to protect us by not allowing us to go in certain ranges of motion. And we have to back it up and make it feel okay and reassure it that we are actually indeed safe. So the breath is the best way that we can do that. Nice, slow, deep breathing, hopefully through the nose, will be our best bet. So I'm not going to take you through that entire sequence on the other side. Feel free to do that on your own. But the long and the short of it is this one position, just by changing either the back leg or the position of our hips, is going to create the ability to stretch the underside, the inner side, the outer glute, and the front of the hip here, just from one position. So we don't need a handful of fancy exercises and different equipment. All we need is a piece of floor, our breath, good attitude, and just a bit of consistency. Cool. So stick around for the next one. Who knows what we'll be doing. Peace.